Hi, this is Paul with Thermavent, and I just wanted to answer a question that is actually pretty commonly asked about heat in winter. And this particular question was asked on our website, thermavent.us. If you go to the question and answers, you can find it. I got a link actually below, right on the below this video. You can actually click on and go to it. So the actual question is, can cross-batten ASV save energy in winter? And so a cross-batten, what this particular question is referring to, the ASV is above sheathing ventilation, which Thermavent technically is above sheathing ventilation. There is no really other ventilation system like Thermavent, but it kind of can, it does fit in that category. We call it under roof ventilation, above sheathing ventilation. It's kind of the same idea, above the sheathing, but below the roof. Below the roof, under roof ventilation is under the roof. So, all right, getting back to the question. In the winter, can it save energy in the winter? And the answer to that, you also referenced a study that was done by Oak Ridge Laboratories in 2006, which does actually show that it can save significant in the winter and everything. So first off, we want to talk about lab tests. Oak Ridge is one of the best. However, lab tests are just that. If you're asking for your particular house, will this work based on this lab test? And my answer to you is no. Is your house in a lab? No, it's not. So when we look at lab tests, they're a good starting point, but they're not always the best to say, well, now this lab test said this, so we're going to base our house off of that. You know, what should the results we should get in our house? So the studies that we have done, the tests that we've done in actual homes, we believe is a best indicator because it gives us an average of what's actually going on in different homes. So if you tell me you have a one-story house or a two-story house, I can tell you based on the studies, quote unquote, the life real house studies that we've done, what that actually looks like. So let's get into the winter. Basically, we do have a frequently asked question which talks about this. And in the Thermavent system, you have an air gap, and the air gap actually works as a passive insulator in the wintertime. So what that means is passive insulator in the wintertime it's similar to your windows, double pane, triple pane windows. You're actually sealing the air in those and it's not moving. Now, in this case, it's not per se sealed, but hot air rising, unless you have an incredibly leaky house where you have all this hot air coming into the attic, which if you do, it'll still work to slow down that hot air releasing out of your attic, but it won't eliminate it. So it does help with all of the Thermavent systems that have been installed under our watch to date. We are seeing that it definitely doesn't hurt. So you're not going to see a larger heat bill because you install the Thermavent system. In fact, you might see a little bit less if you even notice it. But one of the things that you have to keep in mind is that it is venting out any of that moist air. So if you do have a leaky attic, a lot of that is going to be some moist air that gets in there from your house, or even just moist air from the outside, the humidity levels, and it's going to actually vent that out. And so those are all things that you really need to consider. Moisture in the attic in wintertime is very dangerous over a long period of time because it'll create more moisture, like mildew and mold is what the moisture will turn into. So I hope this actually helps your answer your question. If it didn't, ask another question and I'll answer it. Some of these videos are actually easier to do in the sense that we can get right to the point and get down to it. And I'll try to answer as many questions with videos if you ask them as I can, and then link them actually in the question. So appreciate the question and hope that helps. Thanks very much.